Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop right here in San Diego, California. And today I want to show you a slide pull charging handle. And we offer several different types of slide pull charging handles, but this one is rather unique, and a lot of people really like it because it allows you to use a finger in this ring to charge or pull the slide. So let me show you how it works, and then we'll see. And I think you probably have a good handle on it. If you look at it, you see you'll notice it's shaped like a slide cover plate. It actually goes on the back like so. So the objective right now is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install this and show you how easy it is to work. And a lot of people like these, again, who don't have the hand strength to actually physically manipulate the slide. First things first, we're going to go ahead and drop the magazine out of this Glock 17. Magazine's empty. Gun looks like it's empty, but I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Check inside the chamber, make sure it is empty, and pull the trigger in a safe direction. Now we have a safe firearm in which we're going to go ahead and work. And I suggest you always do the same too. Again, this is our workbench. There's no ammunition here. There are no loaded magazines close by. I have no opportunity to inadvertently load this firearm and make it go bang when I don't want to. So that's always a good safety tip, is when you're working on guns, cleaning guns, is keep the ammo separate. Loaded magazines, keep them separate, off of the table, because it's very easy to load and pull the trigger. Now, that said, let's go ahead and break this gun apart. The disassembly procedure is very simple. We're going to put our hand up on top of the slide and pull back about 1/4 of an inch, just to take it out of battery a little bit. And what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the pressure of the slide off of this slide lock, which is also known as the takedown lever, okay? And it's on both sides, here on this side, and of course, over on this side as well. I'm going to come up here with both my thumb and my index finger and pull down and hold down, and then push the slide forward, being careful not to let the slide fly away, because it could fall off there, and if it hits itself on the table or on the ground especially, you may have a dent here, and that's a pretty tragic mistake, because it's really hard to get it back into shape properly. So here's the upper. We took it off, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to take the slide cover plate off. So I'll put this guy off to the side, and slide cover plate is interesting. It's captured here in the slide, which means that there is a spring pressure on the underside of it, which means that you have to release that spring pressure before you can actually get in there and let this thing come off. So oftentimes people will try to pry these off, pry them off with a screwdriver, and they get all scratched up, and we sell a lot of replacement slide cover plates. But there's a secret, just like everything else. If you know what you're doing, you can actually do it. Underneath the slide here, on the underbelly of the slide, should I say, you're going to find the striker, and then all the steel components, of course. So we're going to lift the striker up, and under the striker is a spacer sleeve. It's a plastic sleeve right there. Black plastic. You can barely see it, but there it is. And this is the actual striker or firing pin. That plastic sleeve is spring loaded. So you see, if I push down on it, how it springs back and forth. Well, that spring is what's pushing on the back side of this slide cover plate, which captures it into the slide. If I push down on it, I will remove that spring pressure, and I'll be able to thumb the slide cover plate off. So I want to be careful when I take it off. My hands are a little bit wet right now, so let me see if I can get that better, that I don't let the parts fly out. So there's halfway off, but see how I've captured everything in my with my thumb in the slide itself, and I'm going to just thumb it off, and I'll make sure I capture those parts. Now, sometimes this spring, or which is called the Depressor Plunger spring, will actually fly away, and people will lose that piece. And then, of course, the gun won't work, and they call up, and they're in a panic, and they have us overnight a $4.99 part to them that costs them $30 in shipping. So be careful of that particular item, because you don't want to lose it. So that's all you really have to do to take the slide cover plate off. I don't have to take anything else out. It's really a simple procedure. In fact, I really don't even have to take the slide off, and I'll show you that here in just a little bit. But I wanted to show you that, and I also wanted to make sure you understand that the process of taking this off is really just relieving or removing that spring pressure. And you'll see that this is the piece that captures itself into the slide cover plate. If you look at the back of the slide cover plate, you'll see how it's round, and see how this piece is round up here. they intersect with one another. Let's see if we can get a little light on that thing better. And there you go. See how that's round? And you notice the roundness of the slide cover plate? Well, that's why it's captured in there. It's almost impossible to take this off unless you remove that spring pressure. Reassembly is pretty simple too. You can use the same punch. Although sometimes I find it's easier to use a fatter punch on this larger piece because it just wants to dance around on that small little piece, little punch there. But here's how this works. And this is our slide cover plate that has the ring attached to it. It's all one piece, been machined out of aluminum, so it's pretty lightweight. What we're gonna do is preload this, kind of get it started. And this would work with any slide cover plate. This just happens to have the ring on it. So, and I'm gonna use the fatter part of this little punch. This is our by the way, it's called a dual purpose. It's a front sight takedown tool. It's a front sight tool on the one side, and it's a takedown tool on the other. So I'm gonna use the fatter piece right here to actually push the spacer sleeve down. And once I do that and capture it, then it's going to stop up here on that Depressor plunger spring we talked about. And I'm going to use the smaller punch right here, and I'm going to push that down and then just thumb this thing out like that. And there it is, assembled. And that's a pretty simple process, as you can see. Really easy. It really takes, seconds. I can make it, last about 10 minutes there, just like I did. But it's pretty simple. Now, we're just going to go ahead and reassemble the gun. So you'll see what happens. I go ahead and I put the slide back on just like I normally would, making sure to engage the rails. And it's on the way back. Now I'm going to go ahead and lock it back and again pull the trigger in a safe direction. Always keeping the gun pointed in a safe direction. Just a good habit. All right, loaded or not. Treat all guns as if they're loaded. Now this is now the slide pull charging handle ring. And a couple things about this: does not interfere with holsters, makes it a lot easier for some people who have difficulty with the strength of their hands to grasp the slide, to actually rack the slide, just like that. I have a lot of people come to the shows and they want to buy a Glock. Say they're older, maybe in their 60s or 70s. They want to buy a Glock. They like Glock. They think they're great guns. They are great guns. Sometimes they have trouble racking the slide. It's not a good gun for them if you can't operate it. We will show them the slide pull charging handle like this, or one of the other ones we sell, which you can see on our website, because we do have choices, and they instantly can make it happen. So that's the nice thing about this particular ring, is that there's no squeezing. Really, most people's index fingers are strong enough, and they just lock in and push forward and let go. It's a pretty neat little item. It's an item that we feel is solving a problem for certain people who have trouble racking the slide. It's non-obtrusive, lightweight, not that expensive, easy to install. So if you're looking for a solution for racking a slide, if your parents want to have a Glock and they're a little older and having trouble racking the slide as normal, get them this little charging handle. I know they're going to like it. I know it's going to work for them. It's a great little item, and it's just, like I said, one of several options we have to allow you to rack this slide easier. The other option we have, of course, is a lighter spring you can put in the gun. That does make it easier, and that even will add itself to this particular item. So if this is still difficult, just the muscular motion of actually, pulling that 17-pound spring back on a Glock 17, we have lighter springs. We have 11, 13, and 15 that is significantly easier to rack than the standard factory 17. But hopefully you've been exposed to this now, this new charging handle, and it will give you some good options to be able to operate this handgun. I'm Lenny McGill. This, of course, is the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop right here in San Diego, California. And if you're ever by San Diego, here in town, come by and see us. And we've got all this stuff on display so you can actually try it out yourself. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.